you talked about the best away games to go to, Rebecca. What do you think, now that we look through the schedule, Nick Marks asks, what's the best home game to catch this year based on the schedule?
Well, I mean, I just encourage everyone who can to go to the Steelers game. I mean, like every year, there's like so many Steelers fans there, and it's I mean, it should be embarrassing for Bengals fans to see that many Steelers fans in your stadium. Like, we need to be the ones filling up the seats there. If I lived in Cincinnati, I most definitely would be there. Maybe I'll still be there, but I encourage everyone to go to that game. But otherwise, as far as like maybe the best actual game to go to, I feel like actually a lot of the good games are the ones on the road, like the Vikings and Titans and Packers. Maybe the Steelers game really is the best one to go to.
Yeah. I think in terms of atmosphere and energy, that Monday night game, like you mentioned, against the Steelers, there's nothing like it. Unfortunately, there's going to be jerks in the stands for both from both fan bases. There's a lot of contention between the fan bases. So if you do go, don't be a jerk. But that, in terms of energy, I would totally agree with you. If you're going to the stadium and wanting to expect a win, that might not be the best game to go to. I think if you're looking for maybe fun and points and potentially a Bengals win, I think their hosting of Indianapolis and Detroit could also be very fun games. And though they play the Colts somewhat often, it's not an every year thing. They play them every preseason because they're so close in proximity. But they do play Detroit often in the preseason as well because of their proximity. But they don't get to – the Lions don't come to PBS that often. So those might be some fun games with a lot of offensive explosion in those games. That might be some good ones as well. Good question from Nick.
I saw another about
Shields. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know who it was from, though, so maybe this is the same one you're looking at. But I saw someone was asking if we think Eifert is going to get extended before the season.
Exactly, yep. That's where I was going. Yep.
Okay, great. So, I do think that either Eifert or Burfict, maybe both, will get extended before the season. I think that those are the two players to be watching for as guys with potentials to get extended this offseason. And typically it's around this time, kind of when the Bengals break, because like next week is mini camp, then they're gone until training camp. So there's about a month there where the team is just kind of hanging out. And I think that time from, kind of the end of next week to the end of July is when we can hope to see someone extended. So Eifert, Burfict. I would say that Burfict is more likely to be extended this offseason than Eifert because the team has so much power with Eifert if they want to franchise tag him next year. If they were to do that, he would get like $9 million, which is like just about what he would probably get on a new deal, if not less. So it really might be in their favor to just franchise tag him next year. But Burfict, I think, is really
I'm glad that was one I really wanted to ask you about to get your insight on, because I think that's a really interesting question, because Marvin Lewis loves, he's got his favorite players. He's got certain guys he really respects. And still, one of the things he gets down on players about is their lack of availability. Now, injuries happen. Especially severe ones. You can't help it. And obviously he doesn't berate anybody for having it. But when they're kind of nicked up and they miss some extra time, he airs some dirty laundry in that respect. But I mean, you look at Eifert's career, missed a game in his rookie year, and he was taking a backseat to Jermaine Gresham that year. 2014 missed essentially 16 games with that elbow injury that he had. 2015, when he had his real breakout year, 13 touchdowns, he still missed 3 games because of an injury. Going back, I said 2014, going back, he missed essentially 16 games. It's actually essentially 17 games because he didn't play in the playoffs that year. And then last year he missed another 8. So, I mean, he's missing almost as much time as he is seeing the field. So I think the Bengals want to extend him.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to need to get really creative with the contract. It's going to have to be incentive-based, workout bonuses, playing time, all that kind of stuff, because when he's on the field, he's a monster.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of the fact that he's not on the field, and he's not on the field that often. I mean, when he's out there, especially the last couple of seasons, he's almost essentially, you look at 2015 and 2016, he has 18 touchdowns in 21 games played. Right. I mean, he's almost a touchdown a game type of guy. So, and then you throw him in now with Ross and Green and Boyd and Mixon, and I mean, if they have all of those weapons, they're a great offense, and he's definitely a big part of that. I think they want to extend him. I think they might. Like you said, these summer months are usually when they start doing these things, especially in these guys in their last year, their deals and that sort of thing. That's usually when they get these types of things done. And he might be one of those guys. I think it's going to have to be a creative type of contract for him if they're going to extend him.